Okay, I want to do a quick video about transgression. Okay, to transgress, equals to go against. To be disobedient, to go against. Now, to transgress something usually means that there is an order, there is a law, there is an expectation in place. Now, that expectation is, of course, decided by the society in which you are in. So we can transgress expectations that are wrong if the society we're in is built wrong. Today we're going to talk about transgression of Lady Macbeth, only in what Shakespeare is trying to present in that time. We're not going to talk about her transgressing the patriarchy in this video, because what I really want in this video is for you to cleverly talk about why Shakespeare wrote Lady Macbeth this way. So, in this play, we have those destabilizing forces, yeah? The play is all about what brings stability and order to a country, to a people, to a society. And in order to show that, he represents these destabilizing forces, what bring instability to society. I'll put instability to society. Society can be destabilized by corruption, immorality, and treason. Now, I think it's interesting that we have two women in this play that both die. So in terms of gender, if we had a question about gender, we do have two women in this play. They both die. They are both noble and respected at the beginning. And they both mention treason. Now, we're going to do Lady Macbeth first, okay? Lady Macbeth is a character who is immediately transgressive, okay? And because of that, she is punished. So Lady Macbeth reveals that transgression will be punished. And she specifically, metaphorically represents the dangers of corruption, immorality, and treason. Yeah? She is a representation. She is an embodiment of these things. She is the embodiment of corruption and the danger of corruption when she manipulates and corrupts people. Yeah? Always remember that Lady Macbeth is symbolically linked to Eve in the Garden of Eden, who is corrupted by the devil, a serpent, and then corrupts. This idea of this transgressive woman will corrupt the good among us and cause us to fall into immorality. Okay? So let's just do Lady Macbeth properly in a little bit more detail. So, I'm telling you that Lady Macbeth is a transgressive character because Shakespeare is trying to warn against transgression. That means that her transgression needs to be shocking transgression. So, the most transgressive things Lady Macbeth says are, "Come, you spirits, unsex me here, that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here." And she asks the spirits to come to her women's breasts and turn her milk to gall. This is transgressive because when she says unsex me here, she is rejecting her femininity. Right? Because she seeks power and agency. This is not about her gender. This is about what she wants. She's not rejecting her femininity because she doesn't like her femininity. She's rejecting her femininity because she seeks the power and agency she needs to achieve her ambition. She can only get that in a patriarchal society through the power of men. So she seeks here power and agency. A woman seeks power, that is transgressive. Okay? It is transgressive for a woman to seek power. Warn against that. Everyone would be shocked by a woman wanting this power, okay? And then she wants to turn her milk to gall. Representing milk, again, represents kind of her natural femininity. And she wants to turn it to gall, which is poison. Let's put this in even more simple terms, milk, her natural representation of femininity, represents goodness. Okay, milk is often fed to babies, so it also represents goodness and innocence. And she wants to turn that goodness and innocence into poison, into malevolence. Yeah, from morality into immorality. And we have this image here of something fair becoming something foul. Yeah, and we see the dangers of corruption, of these destabilizing forces of corruption. Lady Macbeth is the embodiment of corruption. She willingly corrupts her body and her soul for power. And that is the lesson we learn. That if you corrupt your body and soul for power, if you yield to immorality, if you yield to the supernatural, malevolent forces, you will be punished. Now, Lady Macbeth, she rejects what is natural, doesn't she? Yeah, she rejects her natural femininity, her natural goodness, innocence, and she rejects it for something unnatural. Yeah, poison. Suggesting that transgression is unnatural. What other words do we have for unnatural? Abnormal, you should be saying. This is unsettling, you should be saying. So Shakespeare is teaching us that transgression is unnatural, abnormal, and unsettling. And we learn that it will be punished. Lady Macbeth, the embodiment of corruption, is punished. There are 3 ways. You just pick the one that matches the essay the most. First way she's punished is in life. She is punished in her marriage. She was Macbeth's dearest partner. In the letter, he refers to her as dearest partner before the kind of Machiavellian part. She becomes, my mind is full of Scorpion, dear wife, and then she should have died hereafter. She loses all connection to her husband, all connection to like that love that was between them. And marriage is, in this time, put under God. It is blessed by God. It's this idea that she has lost that blessing. Secondly, we have this idea of the beginning. Lady Macbeth says, a little water clears us of this deed. This idea of a little water. It only takes a little water to clear away the deed, to clear it, to get rid of it. Yeah? The sin is trivialized. It only needs a little, suggesting that she is superior to God. She does not need God to cleanse her of her sins. She's superior to God. She can do it herself. It shows that transgression is hubristic, is prideful. Whereas by the end of the play, in Act 5, Scene 1, she says, will all the perfumes of Arabia not sweeten this little hand? And it was the sin that was little, but now it is her body that is little. Her physical body is now little, showing that she realizes that we are inferior to God. We cannot become God. We cannot act superior to God. We cannot take the life. We cannot disobey God via becoming king, etc. And then we have her very clear punishment. Hell is murky, a damn spot. We have that psychological punishment, and we have damnation. Teaching us that transgression is unnatural, abnormal, and unsettling. It creates instability because it is destabilizing, and therefore it destabilizes a marriage, it destabilizes a person, etc., and it leads to damnation. Therefore, it should be punished. The interesting thing is that Lady Macduff also proves this. Lady Macduff says that a traitor is one who swears and lies. And she says that traitors should be killed. her husband has gone away and she calls him a traitor to her son, not knowing that Macduff has gone away to fight, to join Malcolm and to fight and restore Scotland. She doesn't know this. So she refers to her husband as a traitor, one who swears and lies. She rejects transgression. She rejects corruption, immorality, treason. Yeah? And we see how Lady Macduff is quite an innocent, moral character. And she is actually killed by Macbeth's men, Macbeth's murderers, suggesting that transgression destroys innocence and morality. So Lady Macduff's death represents again that transgression. Yeah, she, as a woman, rejects that transgression. She says a traitor is a person who swears and lies. She says a traitor should be killed, even if it was her own husband. And the fact that she is killed by Macbeth's murderers represents how transgression destroys what is innocent and moral. And these two characters promote Shakespeare's message that we should reject destabilizing forces because this will create instability in people and in society. We should reject corruption, immorality, and treason, and instead promote things that provide stability. King James, etc. Okay, well done for listening.